You can lose up to 2/3 of your liver and it can regenerate itself. Okay? But you can't do any of that if you're putting ultra processed food, which is 67% of the standard American diet.
In today's world, many of the foods we eat are making us sick. Dr. Bobby Price sheds light on the hidden dangers of modern food production, from genetically modified organisms, GMOs, to processed foods filled with chemicals and sugar. These foods are damaging our health, causing inflammation, weakening our immune systems, and contributing to chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and obesity. By understanding what's in our food and making better choices, we can protect our health and live longer, healthier lives. Before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss out on future videos.
Your health and your death begins in your gut. Because if you start to think about some of the top killers of people, like the top, leading causes of death, cardiovascular disease, gut.
1. Genetically modified organisms, GMOs. GMOs are crops and animals that have had their DNA changed to make them resistant to pests or weather. Dr. Price believes these changes introduce unnatural molecules into our bodies, which can cause problems like disrupting cell functions. GMOs are also grown with harmful chemicals like glyphosate, which can lead to inflammation, hormonal issues, and immune problems.
And that's also what's making us so overweight as well, too. Because a lot of that chemistry, which is really toxins, the body puts all of that chemistry in fat. And the more chemistry you put in you, the more the body will hold on and create fat. Because the fat is a way that we protect ourselves away from the chemistry. Otherwise, if that chemistry was getting inside of the cells, getting inside of the tissues, we would rapidly decline. But at the end of the day, you got to think about if you go into public schools and you look at their lunches.
Come on, man. I was just about
it
to
looks
say that.
It looks like the same lunch a prisoner would get.
Listen.
It looks like the same lunch that if you're in a hospital, you will get.
Come on now.
And that's the same food that's creating the condition in the first place. That's why I say it's a violent loop that we're in. We're not in healthcare, we're in sick care. And people just don't understand how important it is that we start to become the captains of our own health.
2. Processed foods and chemical additives. Processed foods are stripped of their natural nutrients and filled with chemicals like preservatives, artificial flavors, and dyes to make them look and taste better. Dr. Price points out that these additives can cause various health issues, including artificial colors and flavors, linked to behavioral problems and even cancer. Preservatives can harm organs and disrupt natural body functions. High levels of sugar, especially in processed foods, contribute to obesity, diabetes, and other health problems.
True.
And I tell people the highest form of wealth building is your health.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's how we create true generational health. I tell people while we're building businesses and we're building generational wealth, we have to understand that the greatest form of wealth is our health.
Yeah.
You can implement nice fruits. As you know, I own a tropical fruit farm, so getting those different kind of fruits that hit different types of taste buds.
Yeah.
Those are things that you can do.
3. Gut health. A healthy gut is essential for good health. Modern diets, full of processed foods, harm the good bacteria in our gut. Dr. Price says this leads to digestive issues, a weakened immune system, and inflammation, which is linked to diseases like heart disease and arthritis.
You can lose up to 2/3 of your liver and it can regenerate itself. Okay? But you can't do any of that if you're putting ultra processed food, which is 67% of the standard American diet. You understand? So it's hugely important for us to really look at it that way. Like, look at yourself like you're a spaceship. And you can't use regular gas in a spaceship.
Can't.
Can't. And we come into this body as a vehicle. And the only way we can experience or have the experience that God wants us to have is through this body. But when it's tainted and you can't hear the things that God is saying to you, you can't see what God is trying to show you, you can't taste the life that God wants to have for you, you can't have the true experience that God had for you.
4. Deceptive food labels. Many foods are marketed as healthy but aren't. For example, low-fat products often have added sugar to make up for flavor loss. Natural flavors can still contain chemicals. Multigrain, these products can still contain refined, unhealthy grains.
Man, I love our people so much, bro. And we're so sick. And we're so brilliant at the same time. And as brilliant as we are and how we create culture and how the world looks to us to see what we're doing to determine what they're doing, I just think about what would we be if we were in our higher state?
Yes, sir.
You're saying, what would we be if we were eating like our ancestors
Yes, sir.
and living like our ancestors? What would we be if that?
Yeah.
And so, that's, pretty much why I do what I do. And
Genetically modified foods create molecules that the body doesn't know. Genetically modified foods have the ability to tamper with your DNA. Genetically modified foods cause cancer. What's cancer? Cancer is a mutation of the cells. What causes the mutation of the cell? The mutation in the DNA. What causes the mutation in the DNA? Genetically modified food can do that, and so can these other things. Well, how do you know? Because I know in America, Australia, New Zealand, they do not have to state if the food has been genetically modified. The safest thing to do is to go organic. Now, we are not 100% organic, very difficult to go 100%, but you do the best that you can. We grow quite a bit and we buy as much organic as we can.
5. Nutrient loss in foods. Due to modern farming practices, even whole foods like fruits and vegetables have lost some of their nutrients over the years. Dr. Price says this means we're eating more, but getting fewer vitamins and minerals, which leaves us unhealthy despite feeling full.
you understand there's a reason why we have certain foods at our cookouts that nobody else has there. So it's important for us to embrace that there's things that are in our culture that we need to shift.
Yeah.
Like the way that great-grandmother grew up versus how we're living today is totally different.
Absolutely.
You can't say how she ate, you can eat that way.
6. Sugar and chronic disease. Dr. Price says sugar is one of the worst offenders in modern diets. It's addictive and leads to inflammation, which is a major factor in many diseases, including cancer and diabetes. Sugar is hidden in many foods, making it hard to avoid, and it contributes to obesity and heart disease.
But what did our kids grow up on?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fruity Pebbles,
Yep.
Hot Takis.
Hot Takis.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if you're
Frosted Flakes.
starting your life, and the unfortunate thing is not culture for us to breastfeed anymore.
Yeah.
That's how we give our children immunity.
Yeah.
It's passed through the breast milk. Even how doctors are doing labor. They're scheduling you for a C-section before you even go into labor.
7. Environmental and ethical concerns. Dr. Price also talks about the impact of food production on the environment. Large-scale farming uses methods that damage the soil and water, making it harder to grow healthy crops. He also criticizes big food companies for pushing cheap, unhealthy food onto consumers while hiding harmful ingredients.
So I just think we got to get back to so many different things, but especially changing how we think around health and healing,
Yes, sir.
changing how we eat,
Yeah.
changing how we live, changing how we respect and love each other, but also changing how we view rearing and raising our kids as well, too.
8. Solutions for better health.
Premium fuel. You're a Bentley.
Right.
Listen, if you put regular gas in a Bentley, you will ruin the car.
I have to take it to the shop and have surgery.
So my point is that what are you using to build this pyramid that we call the vessel for this divine soul? What are you using? Are you using cardboard?
Yeah.
Are you using paper mache?
Oh.
Are you using bricks? Because every 2 weeks we can get a new lining in our stomach.
Dr. Price suggests a few ways to improve your health. Choose organic foods to avoid harmful chemicals and GMOs. Avoid processed foods. Stick to whole foods like fruits and vegetables instead of packaged products. Support local farmers. Buy fresh produce from local markets. Cook at home. This way, you can control the ingredients and avoid unhealthy additives. Avoid sugary drinks and snacks and try to eat natural, whole foods to reduce sugar intake. If you found this video informative, make sure to give a like, subscribe, and press the bell icon so that you won't miss out on any future videos.